Welcome to the Billy Osment Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio with your hosts, Billy Osment and Peter Mingles. Make sure you check us out by clicking on the Billy Osment Radio Show link on buildingfortunesradio.com. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com, and look for the Billy Osment Radio Show segment. Among all the other things Billy does, Billy is presently serving as the Vice President of Helping the Less Fortunate Ministries. Billy's mission is to help those in need and to prepare the young, elderly, and the disabled with the skills and knowledge they need to be responsible citizens. Billy strives to help those who are struggling to learn in a loving and caring environment. This is an exciting time to be in business, and we're pleased to learn more about building fortunes with Billy Osment. Now on to our show with Billy Osment and Peter Mingles. Take it away, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to the Billy Osment Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com for those people unfamiliar with my voice. My name is Peter Mingles, and we host this radio show every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You can make the adjustment along the way, and if you're here listening in live, we certainly appreciate this. You know, it was about a week ago where Hurricane Harvey started over in Houston, and I would be somewhat remiss if I said it hasn't made a very big impact on our Building Fortunes listening audience, and on me specifically as well. You know, we have Building Fortunes radio listeners in that Houston area, and it's impacted their life. And we have Building Fortunes radio hosts and things like that. So if you are here and you are listening, one of the most important things you can possibly do, I think, is put a fortress around your financial success by building a home-based business, and that's why we're here talking today. Now, by the way, we got some movers, so if you're moving around, just hit the mute button on your phone because your microphones are really good. So on that note, we do this radio show with Billy Osment. I ran across Billy several years ago when she was a customer of ours, and when she was doing some stuff, she wound up actually asking us a lot of questions. And she was a really hard worker, and I dug in and we learned a little bit more about her. And she was active with her church, and she was active with her community, and she herself was a tireless worker, and she really sacrificed a lot of things for the benefit of other people. And I realized that, you know what, if there's anybody that's going straight to heaven, like they don't even need to pass go, like they are right straight there, it's going to be Billy Osment. And I really enjoyed working with her. And as we were doing that, I found that she was sending me reports on what she was doing. Now, between me and you, I run a company in addition to this, and my own employees don't send me their reports whenever they're supposed to send me the reports. And Billy Osment, who's not working for me, is sending some reports, so she was exceptional. I said, you know, we want to really do something where we shine a spotlight on Billy Osment. Now, what I didn't know at that time was she was going to connect with Kim and Donna with a company called Zingular. And that's Xyngular. And Zingular has been another pleasant surprise. I didn't know a lot about them before we started this radio show, and with Kim and Donna and with Billy, they have brought on some of the best people on the planet for home-based businesses. They enjoy a great product. They enjoy great success with their product. The team and the support is exceptional, and if you are looking for a home-based business, I will share with you, I can give a AAA rating about Zingular. These radio shows consistently are some of the best that we have ever done when it comes to down-to-earth, real stuff, really working, hard work, good people, and exceptional opportunities. So I always like to make Billy blush just a little bit. So, Billy, thanks for being here, and thanks for being on the other side of, so far, like a really bad and tough time for people over in Houston, Texas. And some of them are still in the middle of it. So thanks for being here, Billy.
Thank you, Peter, for those very kind words, and God bless all those in Texas. I would like to do a special shout-out to my grandson. Happy birthday, Chance. It's his 5th birthday today.
Ooh,
tonight,
big 5-0.
Yes, just big 5. Tonight, our very special guest from Zingular is the well-known Lisa Goodwin. I'm sorry, hon. And here to introduce her is our very own Kimberly Plain, who blessed me with Zingular. Okay, Kim, take it away.
Thanks, Billy. I'm so happy to be here again tonight and so blessed to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Lisa. I've gotten to chat with her a little bit back and forth after I asked her if she would be a guest on the Billy Osment radio show, and she is just a sweetheart, so I can't wait to hear her story and get to know her even better. She is a certified life coach. She owns a wellness studio in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. She's been married for 20 years. She has a son who is 14, and she is an executive with our amazing company. So I'm going to get myself out of the way, and Lisa, take it away, and can't wait to hear your story.
Hi, guys. Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's totally exciting. And, you know, today I do live prayers, and we actually prayed for Texas. So, yeah, it's devastating what's going on there right now. So, I continue to pray for that. So, my story is, wow, where do I start? Just over 2 years ago, I was literally standing over a cliff thinking about jumping. And the only reason I didn't jump is because I thought I'd break my neck and be worse off. And after that moment, I was in search of anything and everything to try and get myself out of this dark hole called depression and anxiety. And I tried everything. I tried naturopaths. I tried hypnosis. I tried workshops. I did try the traditional route of different antidepressants, and nothing worked for me. And so when I came across these products, my friend Nikki, there was a testimonial on Facebook, actually. That's how I found out about it. And she shared someone's testimonial about somebody's anxiety and depression going away, and I just thought, why not? I've tried everything else. So what I loved what she said is when I could try it, and if it didn't work for me, I could get my money back. And that was awesome in my mind because nobody had ever given me a dime back, and I had spent thousands of dollars to try and get myself out of this hole. And so obviously I decided to jump on board, and within my 8 days, what I loved most is that I could eat real food. That was pretty cool in my mind because I had done detox cleanses before and always, you know, starved myself on them. And this one I loved because I could actually eat real food. And so in my 8 days, it starts off with a detox cleanse. I lost 8 pounds, 12 inches. I actually had gotten off my antidepressants with the help of my doctor a couple of months earlier. And so my depression lifted when I got on these products. My anxiety lifted. And I had so much energy. I was always a chronically tired person. Since I was 16, I had mono when I was younger, and I was always chronically tired. So I had all this energy that I didn't even know what to do with it. It was so awesome. And I also had premenopause night sweats so bad that I actually broke my air conditioner. I didn't know you're not supposed to turn them on in the winter in Canada. And broke my air conditioner because I would be literally changing my clothes in the middle of the night, sweating every night. And I was only 38 years old when this started happening. So my hormones were really out of whack. I also had feet problems where every time I tried to run, it felt like rocks were underneath my feet. And that went away. I also was in a car accident when I was 21, so bad that I had actually never played on the floor with my son. At the time of trying the products, he was 12 years old. And so for 12 years, I never really played on the floor with him because my back hurt so much and I'd have to use my hands to roll over in bed at night. And so obviously I decided I liked the program. I didn't realize my body was so messed up until I felt better. And I went on to lose 30 pounds. I've maintained it for almost 2 years now, and it's been incredible. Basically, the thing is I've actually been a yo-yo dieter since I was 16. I've tried everything out there, and I've been able to maintain. And to be honest, I've had a very challenging year. And normally I would eat my way back up in weight, and I'm happy to report that my emotional eating has disappeared because of these products, because they help with your serotonin levels and your cortisone levels, and or they did for me anyway. So it's been amazing. And another blessing that Exingular has given me is income. And, what's happened is I actually was a 7-time loser in multi-level marketing. I've tried 7 different companies. I've had my heart broken 7 different times. And I decided I was not going to touch this one. And so when I got results, people started asking me what I was doing. And I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm going to do this business. Don't even talk to me, Nikki, about it. I was very straight up with her and said, don't talk to me about it. And but because of my results, my friends started asking me what I was doing. And so ultimately, I called Nikki up. I said, I have some friends that want to do this. Can you help them out? And she said to me, you know what? I can't sorry, someone's coming to my door. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, God. I don't know what to do.
And if you're going to be distracted, that's okay. If you're going to be distracted, that's okay. We can run our commercial break a little bit early. So if you need a minute. They run a commercial here.
Sorry, you can keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll keep going. She knows I can't talk right now.
Welcome to life.
Okay, so
yeah, that's good.
yeah, sorry about that. I have my team showing up for a meeting tonight, so I forgot about it. Okay, so back to my story. So basically, sorry, I'm so distracted. I'm so sorry. So
okay.
I didn't want to do this business, and what happened is Nikki said to me one really cool thing. She said, do you want your products for free? And I was like, yeah, absolutely I do. And she said, okay, well, all you got to do is these simple steps, add them to our testimonial page, get them on a phone call with me. I was like, okay, I can do that. In my very first month, I had 5 friends join me, and I got my products for free in that very first month, and I just thought that was brilliant. And then for 10 months, that's what happened. More people would join me, and I'd get my products for free every single month. I never looked at my back office. Nikki would message me a couple of times and say, if you get one more person, you help one more person, you'll get this free trip, and I'd just ignore her. I was completely against it. And then what happened in my 10th month, my son's Taekwondo master named Jenny Pro, she decided to join me on this. And her story was so incredible. She started sharing her story with so many people that what happened is I was in Hawaii at Christmas time. And while I was in Hawaii, a business started getting built underneath me. And actually, to back it up, I used to pray every single month. I prayed, you know what, God, if this is meant for me, make it easy, put the right people underneath me. So for 10 months straight, I prayed about it. In my 10th month is when Jenny Perot decided to join my business. And she made it worth it for me to want to look at this business. And what happened is while I was on holidays, surfing, having fun, I had earned a free trip to Robert Redford's Sundance Resort.
Wow.
Yeah, very cool. And what was really cool about it is in my past multi-level marketing companies, I would have to work my butt off and be that crazy multi-level marketer that's annoying all my friends and family to get that free trip. And this time I was like, I'm not going to do it. And the fact that I earned it was just doing these simple tips that Nikki taught me how to do. It felt like magic, actually. Well, I know God just had a plan for me. So I ended up, what Nikki did is she created a poster congratulating me on earning this free trip. And then she put my before and after photos on this poster. And so my story got out on Facebook. Up to that point, I was pretty secretive about it. And my story got out. I called Nikki, kind of panicking. Nikki, so many people are wanting these products, and I'm on holidays. I can't do this business. She's like, Lisa, just do what we've been doing. I'm like, okay. So that's what I did. I came home from my holiday. Am I allowed to share income on here?
Sure, why not?
I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely.
So I came home from my holiday, and I had $3,800 US sitting in my mailbox of checks waiting for me. And I just thought that was crazy because I really didn't feel like I did much for that. And so needless to say, I decided to jump in. But I only jumped in with one foot. I have to admit, I've been terrified to do this business, 100% terrified. I didn't want to get my hopes up because I've had success before in my other companies, and the success always died after a couple months. And so I really was scared, and even with all my fears, I was close to making a 6-figure income last year, and I earned 5 free trips. And when I talk about trips, I'm talking like I was in Costa Rica in January. I was on a Caribbean cruise in March. And these trips they're just amazing because I've actually hiked with the owner, like the president, and had dinner with the owner. And, you know, you meet these amazing people, the owners and the corporate staff, and hang out with them. And it's just unbelievable. And so, needless to say, I decided to keep going, and I got over one of my fears of being a leader. 1 month, I thought I thought my sister was dying, actually, and I was really, really depressed for the whole month of May. And one of my biggest fears is that my team would fall down if I got depressed. And so I've been fighting being a leader in this company. And but what happened in that month, magic happened. My team just picked up the pieces. And I became an executive my second month in a row. And while I was taking care of my sister and her new baby. And so that was just the most beautiful gift that I could have ever gotten, to be able to just be with my sister and not worry about money and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I became an executive 2 months in a row, April and May, and I just earned my 6th free trip. I'm going to Dubai in November. The company's paying for me and my dad to stay at the Atlantis, ride camels. Like, it's just going to be an incredible journey. So yeah, that's my story.
That's amazing. So I don't want to discount some of the things that you had mentioned, but it seemed like when you first got started, you were in a pretty dark place. I mean, you started this radio show by saying that you were literally on the top of a cliff ready to jump. And was that like a real example, or was that just kind of like a figure?
No, that was real. There's a spot that I go to pray at all the time. And to be honest, I've suffered with depression for 19 years, up and down, up and down, up and down. And there's 2 years there where I was so bad that I literally was suicidal. I went to the place that I always pray at, and I just thought, I have nothing to live for. What do I got to live for? And which is really sad, because I have lots to live for. I mean, I have an amazing family, amazing son, all that kind of stuff. On paper, my life was amazing, but I had this dark hole, dark shadow that would not go away.
Now, let's do this. I want to take a little commercial break, but we're going to be right back. We're talking with Lisa Goodwin. We're on the singular section of our Building Fortunes radio show. We do this with Billy Osmond. I want to be right back, so give us a second. Here we go.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized websites, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we are back. Peter Mingles here. We're talking with Lisa Goodwin, and she's up in Canada. She's sharing with us some of her stories, and some of her stories are really amazing. And I want to tie this back into, if we can, the idea of the leverage that you had, Lisa, by even if you were down personally or you were going through some things personally, your team actually helped you through a lot of the things, and their performance actually kept the income coming in maybe when you were prioritizing yourself and you're taking care of this or maybe taking care of that. And that's really very fitting for the things that maybe some people are going through when we're dealing with what's happening in Houston right now with the hurricane and all the flooding and everything else like that. So can you stress that just a little bit? Like your Houston, if you will, was when your sister had the baby. You know, that's when you couldn't work and you needed your team to kind of pick up the pace. Or your Houston, you know what I mean? That was your Houston.
Oh, yeah.
And can you kind of tie that back in? Because I know you're a leader, and I know you do the life coaching and stuff like that, but you're also human. And when life hits you, your team really rallied, and that really took away one of the biggest challenges that you would have had, which is how do I go to work? How do I make money? How do I pay the rent? How do I pay the whatever? In the times where you're really didn't want to or couldn't necessarily do that. So tie that into what would have happened if you had that was your Houston. So tie it in with people like, hey, if you want to be able to try to figure out, like, what would you do if this was you? How would you tie that into what you built with Singular so far?
Well, absolutely. So literally for the whole month of May 1st, I get the call from my sister. She's going in for emergency C-section, and her baby's 2 months early, and it was devastating. And to be honest, that whole entire month, I barely did any calls. I was not a leader that month. I barely championed my team. I think my team didn't really hear from me that whole entire month, because one of the things that I do when I'm depressed, because I was depressed, I thought my sister was dying or her baby, and I go in and I don't talk to anyone when I'm depressed. And so I just happen to have a lot of rock stars on my team. I have so many people that are just really heartfelt and really want to change the world like I do. And so to be honest, I'm blessed. God has blessed me with amazing people that are sharing their stories and helping many, many, many people get healthy and wealthy. And I just happen to have, I believe, the best team in Canada. I don't know if I can say that out loud, but that's how I feel.
You can say it. So when they helped you, it wasn't like, you had a group of 1,000 people and they all chipped in $100 and they donated to your GoFundMe place. You're talking about they went to work. They went to work on their businesses. And when they went to work on their businesses for their reasons, that also helped you. So it wasn't charity. It was they were working their tails off. And they might have been doing it for the motivation to be able to help you and to be able to keep the team going, all those types of things. But there was nothing about this that was a win-lose situation. They were winning as well, and they probably grew as leaders too. So when May was over, June was still there. I mean, they still had leaders. And I know you said you really didn't lead your team. You were a leader just in a different area of your life. Taking care of your sister and dealing with all that other sort of stuff isn't necessarily why I'd say not leading. So, but that's really the point that I wanted to stress. Now, okay, so here we go. I'm going to take Houston, and I'm going to move Houston to Alberta. For whatever other kind of natural disaster might have possibly happened, if all of a sudden here it is Thursday, and you are done with our radio show, and that's it, like Alberta, the electricity went off, some kind of, not that there will be a flood, but, a whole bunch of elk or moose kind of took over, whatever might happen in Alberta, So something happened in Alberta where you couldn't work anymore. What would happen with your income?
Nothing would change.
If the lights went out?
I would still, to be honest, it felt like my light went out. My income would be the same. I mean, it might not be, it would drop a little bit, because if you're not being a leader, then some of the people underneath you will stop being leaders as well, right? It does happen that way, but for the most part, I would believe that 80% of my income would still be there.
So, the electricity could go out, the water could go down, you could be abducted by space aliens, and whatever reason, the check would still come. And they would still let you go to Dubai with your dad. And then, and then things would still happen. So that's really for the people that are listening in, if they're saying to themselves, because I was internalizing some of that myself. I run a traditional business, with the radio shows. And as we're doing this type of thing, I'm saying to myself, we do a lot of things through the internet, thank goodness. So a lot of the things that I have aren't physically bound. They're not limited by that. But when I was running my vacuum cleaner business, when I was a division manager for Electrolux, if Long Island, New York, or Queens, New York was buried under a flood, I'd be out of business. The last thing you're thinking about doing is, sweeping up the floor with a vacuum cleaner if your whole entire community is 4 feet underwater. The last thing that you're doing is worried about dry cleaning your clothes. The last thing you're worried about doing is going to Best Buy. when you can't even survive. So for those people that are thinking about a plan B or an exit plan or some kind of way to put a safety net, would you, and I don't want to complete my own sentences and you agree, what would you say as far as, what would you say as far as the network marketing as a home-based business security alternative towards any kind of a natural or man-made disaster?
I believe without a shadow of a doubt that Singular is the company to be with. Singular has done it right. And it just happens to be a multi-level marketing company. And honestly, multi-level marketing is where it's at. It's residual income. You will always have an income, even if you go on holidays. A lot of my big top leaders are in Rome right now, and they're all having a blast while making, some of them are making $68,000 US a month to I think $120,000 US a month. There's no cap in this company, and traditional businesses cost so much to keep. And when there's a flood, your traditional business falls down too, right? So this is, I think, the only business out there that will not fall down when there's a natural disaster.
Right, because it's so diverse. You have business in 50 states, and then also you have business in several different countries. A lot of the business can be done with people on the internet or the phone. The phone's always connected. And because of the way they do things, they have the ability to actually give you that security of that physical diversity of all different people in all different countries and all different cultures. And the idea that the company does a lot of that stuff for you, so you diversify your risk enormously. So you get all the upside, none of the downside. And then, let's bring it back full circle to where you started. You started on a cliff. You started on a cliff. And now look at the way your life is just a few years later. So I don't even know. There's some people that are listening in, and I like to bring it back to that because there are some people that are listening to this that might be saying to themselves, I'm in a dark place, or, I can't see how I'm going to be able to dig my way out of this, or I've tried these things before and it didn't work for me. I'd like you to comment about that darkness that you were in and how this could be that way for them to get out if they do what you did. You got in, you worked hard, in spite of yourself, you shared the opportunity and the product, and you found some good people, and you did the right thing, and now you're successful. So tell us a little bit about that hope for those people that might be listening in saying, you know what, I was thinking about going on that cliff, or I've been there before, and all those other types of issues that go on, especially in harder economic times where financially there's a lot of people still struggling.
Well, I can tell you about a brand new girl that's joining my team tonight. She's a single mom. She came to a meeting 2 weeks ago. She hasn't left her house for months and months, and she showed up shaking to death, shaking with anxiety and depression. And she reminds me of me where I was. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can help her. And, there's just so much more I could say. I could go on about this, but it's, I believe that Singular has really blessed me. God has put this in my life for a reason. And I know that I'm put on this earth to help other people and to pray with other people. And this particular single mom, I just know if she lets me put my wing over her, she will be amazing. And she will come out of this, and she's going to have this amazing story just like me. And so I just hope that for every single person listening, even people in Houston right now, if they happen to be listening, the thing is worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You get a refund. You either get results or a refund. That's it. There's nothing, you can't lose.
Right. Well, we're hoping that you'll be able to bring that young mom on a radio show sometime soon, as she's progressing through and, that she's breaking through the barriers that she's going to be breaking through. So I want to say, Lisa, thanks for being here. We want to have you back, of course. We're going to talk about doing radio shows as well. And I'm going to flip this over back to Billy Osment. We're going to let you go back to your Thanks for being here. Billy, it's your turn. Thank you very much, Lisa.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Billy.
Thank you, Lisa, for being our very special guest tonight. Your story will truly help people know that they can be healed mentally, physically, financially, naturally, without starving, and with your singular family. Now remember, get back to the person who invited you to this show tonight for more information on Singular, the products, the lifestyle, and so much more. God bless everyone. Come back next week. And remember, we love you. Okay, Peter, back to you.
We'll see you next week. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingles. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.